We started off with Linda DeRosa and helping us get our paperwork in order and all that
Okay.
stuff. We started off with that and how to make sure we keep in contact with our customers and all that stuff. And then we had the wonderful Miss Carrie tell us how to get to 1,000 customers. And she said pretty much part of your way to the customers. That's pretty much what I got. Part of your way to the customers. So I was like, okay, that was awesome. And then we had who else? We had Miss Elaine, and
Mhm.
Elaine taught us how to be consistent and make sure that we get to our, we get to our start and all of that kind of stuff. So I am like so excited about all of this stuff. Now I'm here to teach y'all how to keep it together.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much. Hey, Miss Rosetta, that's pretty much what I'm here to do. Okay, I'm here to pretty much teach y'all how to keep your emotions together so y'all can get to that goal, get to your star, get to your directorship, get to your red jacket, get to your huge, humongous customer base. I'm here to do that today. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So,
Yes.
I know a lot of you have made goals and stuff like that. Like we all make goals, we all set deadlines. We've all done it. I've done it. Amy's done it. I know Carrie's done it. Linda DeRosa. We all have done that. We all have set goals and we work towards them. Now, some of us, now I'm gonna be a witness to such this. Okay, some of us wait till 2 weeks before the goal is done and say, "Oh snap, I forgot." And we work and work and work and work and work and try to get to the goal, and then it doesn't happen. And then some of us we get halfway there and then we give up. And then some of us like, you know what? I changed my mind. This is not the goal for me. But in reality, it's really not the goal. It's not. It's how we as people, as individuals, deal with the rejection, how we deal with defeat, how we deal with disappointments, and all of those type things. Sometimes it might even be the timing, but we're not going to blame it on that all the time. It might be the timing sometimes, not all the time. You know what I mean? But you have to make sure that you're paying attention to what it's not the goal. It's really not. It's not the goal. The goal never changes. Everything else does, but the goal never changes. Amy, you gave me that, remember? So now, remember, the goal never changes, but our emotions do. Okay. We start off every goal. We're excited. Oh my gosh, we're going to win this. I'm going to get this. And we're excited. We love our goal. We're in love with our goal. We're going to run to the goal. And then life happens. And then we start to get slower and slower. And like all of that happens, right? And it's like, it's crazy, right? And then then we start to say, oh, nobody's talking to us. Nobody's listening to, nobody wants to join. Nobody wants to book a party. Nobody wants to buy nothing. Everybody's broke because we talked to 5 people and 5 people said that. But we say everybody said it. But the thing is, it's not that. It's us dealing with our rejection, our disappointment, and us getting unmotivated. It happens, some of us getting unmotivated and all of those things. Those things are what really happens. And also, sometimes we either feel or think that we're not going to make the goal. As soon as those moments, at that moment, she knew. Y'all ever heard that? My kids say that all the time. At that moment, she knew. At that moment, you should call your director. Okay. At that moment, you need to call your director because you need to call your director. You need to call your mentor. You need to call somebody that has been in your shoes and is on the other side of what you want. You need to call them because they're going to help you. Okay. They're going to help you process your emotions. They're going to help you um, um, get a game plan on how to overcome all of this, right? So we make sure that we call our director. Now, we get this. Now, I want you to remember this. This is one thing I want everybody to remember. Mary Kay is a numbers game. This is all a numbers game. Okay. That's one way to get your emotions out of it because it's a numbers game. 1 out of 5 say yes. So if you want 5 parties booked, you need to ask 25 people. 1 out of 5 says yes. Okay. Now, We talked to our director. They done gave us our mentor, our director. They done gave us our plan and everything, right? And we're on our way. But then we go home or we get off the phone and we start to think, okay? Because the goal never changes, but our thoughts do, okay? We go home and we start to think, well, maybe this Mary Kay thing is not for me. Maybe me being a director is not for me. Maybe nah, 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 nah. Whatever we tell ourselves, right? We tell ourselves all these negative thoughts. But that's not the key. Okay. You have to find the passion that you had when you first made that goal. You have to relive that passion again, right? So it's like, okay, when I first heard this goal, because God does not give you a dream that is not yours. Okay? He does not. He does not give you a dream that is not yours. And if you had it in your heart that you was going to hold these 5 parties, those 5 parties is yours. So he don't give you a dream that's not yours. So you need to fall back in love with it. It's just like a kid riding a bike, right? Without training wheels for the first time. Okay. So they super excited. They're gonna get on this bike, they get on the bike and they fall and they get bloody knees. But guess what? Kids are more resilient than us adults because they get right back up and they try again. So we have to remember that and have that same, get that passion back. Okay. So get that passion back and get back on your bike. I know it's not that simple, it's not that easy, but this is the cycle that we have to go through. Okay. And remember, Mary Kay is a numbers game. 1 out of 5 say yes. I want y'all to remember that. Okay. I'm 1 out of 5 says yes. Okay. 1 out of 5 says yes. So remember that. Okay. Now, the goal never changes. But guess what? The date does. Okay. So the date changes. 1 second. Eat it. Sorry, that was kids. The goal never changes, but the date does. Okay. So now you and your goal is back on speaking terms. You found the new you got a new respect for your goal. Because your goal to knock you down, you done blooded your knees. So you're like, okay, 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 I understand. I have to respect and honor the deadline. I gotta work every day diligently to get to this. This is not something that happens overnight or just because, oh, I want to be a Mary Kate, I want to be a director, or oh, I'm a whole 5 parties, and you never did that before, and you never tried to do an interview at all. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes a process, and us dealing with our emotions is part of that process. So remember, the goal never changes, but the date does. Okay. So when the date changes, you pick a date, you pick that deadline, you work towards it. Now we continue this cycle through every goal that we have. We're excited, right? We're excited. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Ah! Right? And then it's like, oh, I didn't know I had to do this. Right? And then it's, oh, okay. All right. So you gonna just knock me down like that? We have these things when it comes to our emotions. You just gonna punch me in the throat, right? We talking to our goal here. You just gonna punch me in the throat. You gonna treat me like that? But remember, when God gives you a dream in your heart, that dream is yours. No matter what happens, you just have to do that everyday diligence to get to it, even when it's hard. Now, the one thing that I'm gonna say for y'all that's key: keep in touch with your mentor and your director. Stay in your small groups. Listen to those people. Go to your meetings. When we put on events like this, come to them, especially when you're sad, because you're going to hear something that's going to lift you up. Don't wallow in it because it's not good to wallow. You just sit there and you get nasty and dirty and you try to figure out, well, how did I get here? Well, you didn't call nobody. You didn't reach up. You didn't go to your meeting. You didn't ask a question. You didn't ask somebody, okay, have you went through this? You haven't did that. So you have to do those things, okay? Those are things. And remember, okay, 1 out of 5 says yes. Okay? So if you want those 5 team, if you want a gold medal, you need to ask 5 people. You need to ask 25 people so you get your 5. And that does not mean I asked 25 people. Okay, so people say this, right? And this is emotional management. Okay. I did what you said. I asked 25 people. Nobody said yes yet. Well, wait a minute. If you just stop, you can't stop. You got to keep going because 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, they're yours. So you got to keep asking and keep asking and keep asking, and don't give up on your goals. Okay. So I'm gonna open it up to people asking questions and stuff. Yeah, because I don't talk long. Okay, I do talk long, but I'm not for all the long talking. I like to answer questions. So I'm gonna open it up for people to ask questions and that kind of thing. Okay. So y'all go ahead. Y'all can ask your questions. Well, don't do it all at once.
Did you see Lene's Tawana's comment?
She said, "This helped me." Okay, go ahead. You read it because I can't. I ain't got my glasses on.
This is helping me. I found myself in all of which you have spoken. And I think we all have, Tawana.
Yes, even me. I talk to myself. You know, when you preach to yourself. All right.
Yes, with me, I found that out to be true too. See, I get too emotional when they start saying no to me. I give up, and so this is really helping me too because I got to keep on pursuing my goals. And I reach sometimes I reach my goals, and other times I don't. But when I'm talking to a customer or trying to recruit someone, and I don't get the answer that I want, that's where it get emotional for me. So I'm thinking that everyone like me want to jump on it and go ahead and get started, but that's not true. So it's really helping me to deal with my emotions.
You know what, Miss Linda, what you said is exactly how I be feeling. Okay, and it's true. We do. We get wrapped up in that narrative. Oh, they didn't do what I said, so I'm done with them. But wait a minute. Just because they didn't do what you said right then and there doesn't mean that they're not going to do it later. We need to be patient with people, especially us eyes. We need to really be patient with people, and us D's, our eyes and D's. We need to learn how to be patient and understand them, and know sometimes some people just need a little bit of time. They just need a little bit of time. Okay, we just and even with me, like if Robin would have gave up on me when I didn't do what she said a couple of times, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all. You know what I mean? This, I bet you, if Carrie gave up on Amy, Amy wouldn't be here talking to us neither. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to make sure that when we're pursuing our customers and that kind of thing, we need to be patient and take ourselves out of it. Okay, because that's a big key thing is removing ourself, our own emotions and feelings from what a person said or what a person didn't do or what a person promised and broke their promise. You know, we have to take our own emotions out of that because it's detrimental if we don't, because that means we're taking on everybody else's, energy, and that's not for us. That's not our energy, if that all made sense.
Sure does. Hey, Lene, you
Hey,
look gorgeous. You look gorgeous, by the way.
thank
But anyway, I have a testimonial to that 1 out of 5 because I remember when I was starting to want to recruit but wasn't sure. And my director gave me a piece of paper that was an outline of a red jacket, like a Barbie doll thing. And it was cut up into 15 spots. And she said, you go out there and you talk to 15 people and color in after, color in the red jacket red. And I was like, yeah, okay. But I did it. I wasn't believing it. But I will tell you, I got through the sleeves and the top half of the jacket and I had my red jacket. I didn't even have to get to 15.
See
But
that?
I learned that lesson that so what the first few people say no, no, no. Everybody's saying no. Oh my goodness, you are right on point, lady. So that is the 100% truth.
Yes. And that's spoken from an OG. So where I come from, that's original gangster, Linda DeRosa. So, but Linda is absolutely right. I've done it my own self. Like I've seen that 1 out of 5. And if we in real life, if we take the numbers and we focus on the numbers part, it helps us with our emotional side, because our emotional side is a little bit irrational, right? It's a little irrational. But if we use our logical side of the brain, it's more rational. Now, that don't mean always be logical, because sometimes that logic will make you stop, like, this ain't real, this ain't gonna happen. But if we use some logic and some dreaming side and we use them together, then it's a balance. It's really like, it's like a balance that we have to use. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve, but remember, 1 out of 5, that is the key. 1 out of 5 is the key, and remember that. And then once and only a third of them are going to, you get 1 out of 5, and then only a third is going to do the rest of it, and it all makes sense.
Also, I wanted to let you know that Tawana has also said, if I can be honest, I kind of lost my zeal.
We go through that. We all go through that, because it's like we're disappointed either at ourselves or at what somebody didn't do.
Yeah.
But when you reach up and you go to these things like this is like God pouring his overflow in your cup again. You have to come to your meetings. You have to stay connected so you can get poured in. It's like going to church. When I go to church on Sunday, even though it ain't at the building, but still, when I go to church on Sunday, I'm still getting poured into. It's the same thing. So it's like when we lose that zest and that zeal, we need to go back. And at that, Tawana, you in the circle. It's a cycle. It's in a circle. So what's the name? When you lose it, you got to go back and remember, okay, how did I feel? You got to really go back and remember, how did I feel when I first said, I'm going to do this? How did I feel? I had confidence. When I came from, where did we go? The Mimsland. When you came from the Mimsland, how did you feel? What was the energy that you had when you came from the Mimsland? And remember that energy and run with that. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Carrie has said, you become who you hang with too. Who are
Yeah.
you hanging with? Positive or a Debbie Downer?
Yep. That's absolutely right. That's right. You do. And I had to cut. That's honest. And so then there's another thing. You got to cut something. You got to cut some people off, or you got to prune your tree, your friendship tree. You got to prune your friendship tree. That doesn't mean they can't be friends with you. You just don't spend your time with them like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, who are you keeping in your circle? Is it people that's going to push you to positivity, and people that's going to check you? Because sometimes you need to be checked. Robin has checked me a lot. Okay. Amy has checked me. And so has Carrie. Okay. Punched me clean in the throat, all 3 of them. Clean, make me choke, everything.
No, we
So,
didn't.
don't listen to her. Yes, they did. So
Some punches too,
May
though.
I say one thing?
yes.
One of the things I've learned over all these years in Mary Kay is, if you're a happy consultant, then check your activity. You're doing stuff. When you're an unhappy consultant, maybe you need to look at your own personal activity.
Yes.
So
Yes.
go for that one.
Yes. Yes. Miss Linda, that. Okay, so if y'all didn't hear that, I'm gonna write that down for later. If Miss Linda, I'm writing that down, Miss Linda, just in case.
Kim, when you're done writing, Lene, Kim has a question when you're done writing.
Go ahead, I'm listening, Kim.
Well, it actually wasn't a question. It was, again, to Tawana. There have been times, and I've been in Mary Kay for over 20 years, and there have been times when I wanted to take the showcase, take it out, throw it in the water, shoot holes in it, and watch it sink down. I think a lot of us have been in that position over the years. But what I found is it's the activity. If I make one sale, I go, oh yeah, right. Let's do another one. And that's what helps get you back out of those doldrums. Just one sale. And it's like all of a sudden the light bulb comes on. Well, if I can sell one to one person, I can sell to two.
That's
Um,
absolutely right.
my problem right now has been my mother-in-law has not been well. So we've been dealing with a lot of family stuff at home. And by the time the evening comes, it's like I'm tired. You know,
Yeah.
it's this tired as much as anything.
So what I've learned, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, Kim, because I have my own situations and my
We
own
all do.
personal life. Everybody does, right? And so you have to, and this is not Mary Kay related. This is like you can apply this to any part of your life. You have to have a moment in that day where you decompress from that emotional turmoil that you're going through or the emotional effects of whatever you're going through. And you need to set it in like, this is the time. Okay. When you transition from your house to Mary Kay work, you need to have like a 30-minute window there to decompress and de-stress, pray, meditate, cry, whatever you need to do
Right.
to to cleanse your mind and de-stress your mind so you can move on to your Mary Kay thing. I've done that personally and it works. I don't know about anybody else, but that's like some things that I have done personally and it works. I journal every morning. I pray every morning. I read a book. I read I got a Psalms that I read every morning. So something that is going to ground you because
Right.
as people sometimes we need to be grounded. So something that's going to ground you, you ground yourself in that and
Right.
you never give up. You
Right.
understand what I mean? Don't give up.
Right. And that's the best part of Mary Kay is the top priorities. It's
Okay.
God first, family second,
Mhm.
career third,
Yep,
but it's not meant to be 33rd.
that's right.
So
Absolutely.
and it's the why. The family is the why, but it can't um
It can't be you not working. If it's the why, then you have to work towards your why. You can't have your why be your crutch or your excuse.
right, because that I have found at different times over the years is that, well, I'm doing it for them, but I am using them as an excuse as to why I can't work right now,
Mhm.
and so I have to find that balance. And sometimes that's easier said than done, but keep
Yeah.
plugging.
And
Renee,
that's where your weekly plan sheet comes into play. That's where your weekly accomplishment sheet, like Miss Linda DeRosa said, all of that stuff comes into play. That's what Elaine said, priming the pump. That's where all that comes into play.
Yeah.
Priming the pump. What Carrie taught us about making sure that we have bookings and our date book is dirty. All of that, if we if we do all of those things, and we like Linda just said, and like Linda said, just earlier, she was like making sure that you have activity. Check your activity.
Right. Right.
Because if you check your activity, even though you're going through emotional stuff with your family, you're like, wait a minute, but I got to get this done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that all plays a major part. That all plays a major part. Thank you, Kim, for that.
Thank you.
All right, Amy, who else said something?
you got the prime and the pump from Elaine. Carrie said it was all in love, giving those throat punches.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Tawana says, thank you for all the encouragement. We love you, girl. You got it always.
Oh,
And Elaine is saying, when I'm ready to give up, I give myself permission to stop doing my business. But then I think of all the things I would miss, and they are so many. Then I start working.
that's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Robin used to say to me all the time, she was like, if you're having a bad day, fire yourself. And then the next morning, rehire yourself. So quit your job. And the next morning, go back and get your job back. So,
I'm writing that one down. That's cool. I have a little thing that you can remember too. When you're having problems outside, inside your family, doesn't matter. I heard this story about a man that was going home and he would turn around and touch the tree right outside his front door. And then he'd go in his house and be happy and da da da. And then when he left in the morning, he'd touch that tree again. And somebody asked him, why do you touch that tree? And he said, because when I get home, I put all my problems and hang them on the tree. So I don't have any issues. And then I go home, I can be present in the moment.
Yes.
And then when you get up in the morning, take it up. I mean, if you have issues, and trust me, I've been through family issues for years, but you've got to take care of yourself. You cannot help others unless your cup is refilled. So
It's
follow
like,
what Lene's saying. Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I say this all the time when I talk to people. It's like you have you have a saucer and a cup, right? And God told you your cup runneth over. But if you're passing your cup to everybody else to drink from, right? When you get your cup back, it's empty. Okay? And I don't know where I heard this, but this stuck with me. I can't remember who said it, but somebody said it and it stuck with me. When you have a cup, you have your cup and your saucer. When you pour into it, you let it overflow and you feed the people from your saucer. You don't give your cup.
That's good.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know where I heard that, but that was a good one and it stuck in my brain for a long time because I heard that when I was young. You don't
That's awesome. I like that. I'm writing that one down too.
you don't feed people from your cup. You feed them from your saucer. Okay? So if people thirsty, they come and get some from your saucer because your cup runneth over.
Rachel Post said, "You are so funny." Oh, what a positive way of thinking about challenges. Keep on laughing.
That's another thing. Girl, you gotta laugh.
Tawana said that was really good. And Rachel then says, when you have a challenge, it's like a forest of trees. Instead of focusing on the forest, focus on one tree. What
That's
can
right.
you do today? Then move on.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So we got plenty of time, but I want to let y'all know when it gets start to close for us to be like, we're done. What's the name? I want to tell y'all a story, okay? Because I feel like stories seal deals. Like it makes you remember and it doesn't leave you ever. Okay, but I'm not going to tell the story now. I want y'all to keep asking the questions, but I just wanted to make sure I said that so I didn't forget.
You and Carrie are so much alike.
You got to say it out loud so you don't forget. And that's another thing. Okay, we got about 10 more minutes. You see, look at this. Look, I'm good at this. So wait a minute. Okay, so we got about 10 more minutes. So one of the things that I loved about this whole jump was that you've seen a lot of different personalities, right? Through the whole, you're gonna see tons more through the whole jump, like for real. Like you're gonna see tons more through the whole entire jump. So it's like somebody you might have your director or your mentor might be a certain way or have a certain personality, and your personality is different. And me and Amy had talked about this a lot because my director Robin, her personality is totally different from mine, but Carrie and I share the same personality. So if I need an emotional fix, I talk to Carrie. If I need a logical fix, I talk to Robin. If I need a strategy, I talk to Robin. So you need to know, you need to see who where you're at and who you are, because I'm emotional. I'm an emotional mess. I cry. Ask Amy. I
We're a
cry.
hot mess, Lene. But the thing about that is we don't let our customers, our team members, we don't let them see that.
No.
We continue to work. And, if all of us, I'm sure all of us have stuff in our lives going on if we're being honest. And so Lene and I, we keep working just like the rest of you, I hope we're doing without customers or consultants knowing. And it's not that you can't talk to your consultants and customers about it, but it's not good to reach up, like Lene is saying, to your mentors, to your directors. And thank you, Lene, for being like me.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for being like me. I appreciate it.
I was going to say, this sounds like an advert
an advertisement for tomorrow when Robin will talk about personalities, so you can figure out who you are, how you work. And it's so interesting to talk to your clients or your consultants and understand where they're coming from, so you can figure that out. And we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, and we get to celebrate that. And when we need each other, we know which piece to go find.
Which puzzle piece that we need?
Which piece
Absolutely,
you need.
absolutely. That was a plug, Elaine. It was a plug.
But I pointed out.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm good. Listen, I'm good at advertising.
Oh, surprise! You're in the sales business.
Good at advertising. So I'm gonna tell the story, and then what's the name? We'll I'll tell the story. The story's not gonna take long, and then we'll continue because I don't want not to be able to tell the story. Okay. So I want y'all all to close your eyes because I want y'all to have a visual. Okay. So I want y'all to close your eyes, and I'm gonna tell the story. So it was this girl, this beautiful little young girl, and she got a bike for Christmas, and it wasn't just any bike. It was like the Schwinn fire engine red bike with the big banana seat. It was white with red stitching going down it. And she had a red and white basket and a little ding ling, the little bell that was on it, right? So, oh my gosh, she was so happy. But this bike did not have training wheels. And she was determined before she went back to school on for the break that she was going to learn how to ride this bike. Okay. So every morning she got up, she got on the bike. The first day she fell a whole bunch of, like, she just kept falling and falling. But she kept getting back up and her knees was bloody. One time she kicked the bike and told the bike it was stupid. She was mad, all kinds. But then she got back on the bike the next day and she tried and she tried. And this time she was pedaling. Oh my gosh, she was pedaling and she went a little bit and she fell into a bush because she didn't know how to brake. Oh my gosh. So now this little girl, she's learning how to ride this bike. And every day she gets up on this bike and she tries every single day. She never gives up. She has the ambition and tenacity and the gumption to ride this, but she's going to ride this bike without training wheels, right? So now we get to almost 2 days before school starts. And she's been practicing every day, every day, every day. And now she's getting good. She's learning how to turn. She hasn't crashed into anything. And then all of a sudden she takes her hands off the handlebars and starts to scream, I did it. And now she's riding with no hands. Okay? So now I want y'all to open your eyes. The little girl is you. And the bike is your goal. Okay? So I don't ever want you to throw away your bike. Okay? Because it's not the bike. It's you. You need to figure it out. And you're going to fall. And it's going to be okay. And you're going to get up and you're going to dust yourself off. You're going to fall into some trees, into a trash cans, and all kinds of things. Okay? So remember that your goal is the bike and stay on it. All right? Does that all make sense? All right, good. I'm glad that made sense because that gave me goose pimples. I don't know about y'all.
That was very good, Lene.
Well,
Really
thank
good. I love your stories. They're always so
Yeah,
amazing.
I like listen. Storytelling is an art, man.
It is an art.
I want to let you know that Rachel says success is getting up one more time than you've been knocked down.
That's right.
Carrie says you are incredible, and I had to scream that because it was all in caps. And then Amanda said she loved that story.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad y'all love the story. So,
Hey, Lene,
yeah.
may I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you differentiate between a real fear and just a silly fear that you're focusing on?
Okay, so I'm afraid of spiders. That's a real fear. I'm terrified. It's not fake. It's fear. Right? But to talk to somebody, okay, let me think. Let me give me a second, Miss Linda. Because the spider, that's scary. They can lay eggs in your eyes and in your ears. That's a real thing. That's a thing. So that's a real fear. But ask that question one more time so I can really think on that.
Well, that's okay, because you answered part of that. Your fear of spiders to you mentally is real, even though you're 500 times larger than a spider. Doesn't matter.
It's gonna bite
That's
my
in
face
your
off.
brain. That's in your brain. I know, because having lost my husband and there's a bug in the house, I used to go, Dominic, kill the bug. Now I have to do it myself. So you learn to get over those fears.
Woo!
But how do you deal with a fear that you're really building up in your brain as a fear, like talking to somebody you don't know? How's
Okay.
that?
So most of the time when we have a fear of talking to somebody that we don't know, not a spider, but somebody that we don't know, it is it's something that from the beginning when we see them we're like, oh, I should go talk to them. And then as we're getting closer and closer, our brain starts to say all of these things that are not true. So we get close, and I don't know about y'all, but I've had this happen. We get closer and closer, and we're like, "Oh no, I think I'm gonna bother her. Oh, she looks like she's busy. Oh, I don't know. She might. I might. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We start doing this. I don't know. I don't know. And then about time we get right there, we're like, uh, um, never mind, and walk away because we done made ourselves afraid to ask. She's gonna tell us no. She's gonna think I'm crazy. She's gonna, whatever we're saying. And this is all about us and our internal and not that person. When we realize that we're in the business to bless women, we're in the business to bless other people, we stop thinking about ourselves and what we think somebody might think of us, and we become better. Okay, we got less than a minute left. I don't want to get cut off. I want to tell y'all all thank you for coming. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for being here, because if I didn't have nobody to talk to, I've been talking to myself. Um, even though I enjoy that, but that's not fun always. Don't forget we have Robin on Thursday, DISC. Oh, y'all don't want to miss that. And then we turn around and we have Amy on Friday. Oh my gosh, she's going to teach us product knowledge. And then we turn around on Saturday and we have two things. We have Amy and Kim, they two new directors doing this quick Q&A, question and answering.